So, you know, one of the things when people talk about your tenure is about the collection. But before we get on to the collection, what I wanted to ask you about was about this idea of not so much connoisseurship, because connoisseurship in the contemporary art world is kind of a dirty word, but this idea of how one develops their eye. Right? Because this is actually the preeminent question that collectors today ask. It's like, okay, how do you sort out the great work from the not so great work? And Jim, you managed to do it more ways than one. So how did you develop this eye for contemporary art?
Well, I don't know. You know, it's very difficult answering your question. I just think you have to look. You have to keep on looking. My hobby was ripping out old magazines and cutting out with scissors the reproductions of things and putting the name of the artist and the title and the date on the back. And I got quite a file of those, file cabinet of those things. So, I mean, it was like touching the art in a way. And I was exposed to a lot of stuff on paper, basically. I don't know how to answer the question. I think what one has to do is to look, maybe read, talk about it with your friends. Why is that one better than that one? And let me say this about that. I once gave a talk at the Walker Art Center. It was a talk to the trustees. And it was a talk about all of the mistakes I had made. It's true. All the mistakes I had made. It was a very long talk. All the mistakes I made in the acquisitions at the Des Moines Art Center. It wasn't a case of the artists weren't the mistakes. It was the works that I had selected. I gave the same talk in a public forum at the Des Moines Art Center several years later, after I'd left there already. But you know, there are lots of things that you look at and you say, gee, I should have got that. And the problem with contemporary art, I don't know if problem is the right word, but it's a never-ending situation, and you don't know what the artist is going to do the next day. And you buy a work which you think is wonderful. I'm not going to mention any right now, because right after I acquired that work, the artist started a new series, and they were absolutely superb. But that's the way it goes sometimes in contemporary art. It's better working with dead artists.
Jim.
And I'm sure...
We won't go there.
I'm sure contemporary artists are saying it's better to work with dead directors.